5 doctors are suing the state of California for its new medical misinformation bill born out of the COVID lockdown era. That's Assembly Bill 2098. The legal team says the law poorly defines scientific consensus since information has been changing so rapidly for COVID.
We've seen that sort of throughout the pandemic, where the so-called experts were saying the vaccines stop transmission. Now we know that they don't. That masks, cloth masks were effective. Now we know that they're not. So the idea that you're sort of going to prevent scientific progress by saying that people only can say things within the consensus is highly problematic from a First Amendment perspective.
Janine Eunice, the lead attorney on the case, says the implications are far-reaching. She argues the law will negatively impact physicians' abilities to treat their patients the best they can, especially when that treatment is based on their experience and professional judgment.
Ultimately, what we're arguing is that the law doesn't define scientific consensus. So it says it punishes doctors or it subjects doctors to discipline for saying things to patients about COVID that aren't in the scientific consensus. But that's not defined. So how are doctors to know?
Eunice stresses the importance of courts striking down the law right away so that other states don't emulate it. The law's text reads, physicians who engage in the dissemination of COVID-19 vaccine misinformation or disinformation risk losing their medical license.
But so many other doctors are scared into being silent. And that creates a situation, too, where the patients can't trust their doctors. The patients know that their doctors are afraid to give them their honest opinions. So because of laws like this.
Laura Powell, another attorney representing the doctors, says the law is too vaguely defined and is a violation of their constitutional right to free speech and due process.
Generally speaking, laws must be clearly defined. You can't have a law that is so vague that people aren't sure what it means, because this creates a situation where doctors are going to censor themselves. So that's what's happening here when you have this very vague phrase of contemporary scientific consensus. So that would violate due process because the law doesn't meet that standard.
Powell added that their first goal is to stop the law from going into effect.
So we are first seeking a preliminary injunction that would prevent it from taking effect on January 1st, and then a permanent injunction so it will never take effect.
The defendants, including Governor Gavin Newsom, have not responded to requests for comment. Daniel Hall, NTD News, California.